makahingi po nung ano? Ginawa niyo pong Excel sa budgeting.
For sure, ipopost ko dun sa Google Class.
Thank you po.
Remind me again, ha? Okay. Chapter 6 is Organizational Innovations, TQM, and Just-in-Time, JIT. We will not cover the accounting for JIT kasi na-discuss na yan during your cost accounting, yung mga debits and credits. What we're going to talk about JIT is the process or yung advantages and disadvantages of using JIT. Ay, ang liit. Okay, ito yung content ng ating presentation, the expected learning outcomes, discussions about TQM, and then yung JIT. Essentially, I have to read this one. Yung expected learning outcomes, describe the ultimate test of quality product or services, explain the core principles of TQM, understand TQM and its implementation guidelines, explain the broad groups of cost of quality, prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal and external failure cost. Explain the users, limitations, and reporting of quality cost information. Describe the non-financial measures of quality and customer satisfaction and how they are reported. Explain the concept of just-in-time, enumerate and describe the features and benefits of JIT, and performance measures and control for JIT production. Okay, let's go to TQM first, or Total Quality Management. The unyielding and continually improving effort by everyone in an organization to understand, meet, and exceed the expectations of customers. Yung TQM kasi, there is an assumption that everyone in the organization has the contribution for providing quality products or services to our clients. Everyone is part of the value chain or the creation of value for our customer. So if that is the case, kung lahat ay involved, then we need to apply quality measures sa lahat ng sulok ng organizations natin to ensure that all their services or all their actions, all their outputs are contributory to that quality, whether it is a product or a services. Okay, so primarily lang naman ang purpose ng company whenever they provide services and products is to meet expectations. Yung quality to me may be different from you. Yung quality mo may be different from me kasi we have different expectations and capacity as well. So kung you have, say, 500 pesos, I have, say, 2,000, o balik na rin natin, ikaw yung may 2,000, ako yung may 500, and we both need shoes nila sa mga nasa taas para makapag-provide tayo ng quality goods and services. We need to involve them and of course seek their support. Without their support, mahirap talagang i-implement. So imagine the teachers and the security guard should be prompt, should be courteous, should smile to all the students, pero walang support from the admin, they are hungry, they don't receive their salaries on time, kahit naman sino mabubuisit, ayun, hindi magiging maganda ang ating services. So, we need to involve and ask for the support from the top management. Napapagod na yung boses ko. Use clear and measurable objectives. Okay, isa pa tong components na to. We need to have a clear and measurable objective. Hindi pwede na hindi pwede na malabo yung objective natin. Halimbawa sabihin mo, basta gawa ka ng ng produkto at ang measure natin kailangan lang maganda. Ano ba yung maganda? Basta maganda. So malabo 'yun, hindi mo ma-specify. Bakit malabo? Hindi ma-measure. Ano yung ganda? Mahaba, ito yung length, ito yung width, this is the color, this is the size, and at kung ano pa na pwedeng ma-measure. It should be measurable, it should be clear. Without clear and measurable objective, how can we check whether we were able to meet that objective? So mahirapan tayo. Kaya use a clear and measurable objective. Hindi basta-basta masabi lang na mayroong objective. Kaya nga kanina, we have to set our expected learning outcomes. Otherwise, ang ginagawa ng iba, basta deliver mo na lang, okay na yun. Hindi mo na alam kung ano-ano yung mga dapat matutunan. So, kailangan may clear and measurable objectives. Recognize quality achievement in a timely manner. Okay, importante din ito sa TQM. Kung hindi kasi timely yung recognition, kawawa naman yung tao, madadala yon. Sabihin niya, nag-effort ako, tapos hindi naman na-recognize. Nakaalis na ako doon lang sinasabing maganda pala yung ginawa niya. O ang tawag yan, madadala siya, hindi na siya mag-effort ulit. So recognize quality achievement in a timely manner. Provide training for continuous improvement. Even you, when you finish your degree in BSA, hindi pa tapos ang learning. What we are learning right now may be obsolete in the future. Kaya you need to learn continuously. There should be a lifelong learning. At paano mo gagawin yun? The company should provide training for you. Again, hindi lang accounting ang buhay. Marami pang ibang dapat matutunan. Dito lang sa TQM na ito, maraming pwedeng matutunan. O dapat matutunan. Kaya there should be a provision for training. The ultimate test of quality product or service is whether the product or service meets or exceeds the customer's expectation. So, yan ang mindset natin whenever we provided services or product. Dapat mag-exceed dun sa expectation. If you are selling cellphone, dapat hindi lang ang purpose is to provide communications as a means to communicate. Aside from texting, aside from calls, there are other functions that you offer para ma-exceeds niya expectations mo. If you wanted to buy a car, hindi lang basta ma-transport mo yung tao from one place to another. There should be other services or functionalities that you should offer. Like, pwedeng hybrid siya, hindi ka gagamit ng gasoline, pwedeng ang tawag doon, solar powered, mga ganun. Or yung coverage ng insurance, sagot ng distributor, and other kinds of services. Dapat mag-exceed sa expectations ng customers. Cost of quality. Okay, so we understand now that there should be quality for products and services. At hindi yun free. there is what you call cost of quality. And accounting-wise, cost of quality can be computed. How to compute? Quality cost, yung conformance cost, plus non-conformance cost. Ano yung mga conformance cost? Conformance cost is equals to prevention cost plus appraisal cost. How about the non-conformance? That's internal failure cost plus external cost. That is accounting-wise. Okay, so the next step that we need to do is to understand ano-ano ba tong mga conformance cost and non-conformance cost. Kasi i-add lang naman pala silang lahat, yun na yung total cost of quality. Okay, so let's go to each kinds of quality cost. Let's go over first sa conformance cost. Prevention cost and appraisal cost. When we say prevention cost, these are costs incurred to avoid poor quality goods or services or reduce the numbers of defects in products or services. Your purpose is to avoid or reduce the numbers of defects. At para ma-prevent mo yon, ma-avoid mo yon, ma-reduce mo yon, ito yung mga pwede mong gawin. You may conduct system development, check your system. If there is a need for you to automate or improve the system, magbabayad ka ng system development cost. If you wanted to check the engineering or improve your engineering, ayan, bayad ka uli, quality engineering. Quality training. So training of your employees is a prevention cost because the reason why you are training them is for you to prevent any defect or rework out of their output. Kasi pag maling ginagawa nila, di ba, na inuulit pa, nire-repair pa, kaya para maiwasan yon, i-train mo sila. Quality circles, this serve as your checker or parang mga quality checkers. So, each stage, meron kang ina-assign na quality controller. Ang tawag natin ng mga quality circles. Statistical process control activities, supervision, quality data gathering, analysis and reporting, quality improvement project, technical support, audit of effectiveness. Okay. Basta check the activity. If the activity is for the purposes of avoiding, preventing, or reducing any defects, for the purposes of to conform with what is the standard, yan ay mga prevention costs. Avoid and reduce. But if the purpose is to inspect, ayaw nang lumabas ng boses ko. Inspect or to identify whether the products are following the standard, yan ay appraisal cost. Okay? So, testing and inspection, depreciation of test equipment, again, yung equipment kasi is, ang purpose is for testing, papasok siya sa appraisal cost. Maintenance of the test equipment, ganun din sa appraisal cost yun kasi yung purpose ng equipment is for testing. But if it is not for testing, hindi yun appraisal cost. Okay? If the purpose is not to test, hindi yan appraisal cost. Inspection area, plant utilities in the inspection area, that is appraisal cost. field testing and appraisal of customer site. So, kapag ka nakikita mo yung mga checking, testing, inspecting, these are appraisal costs. So, yung term na conformance kasi, dalawang klase ang conformance natin. Bakit ba kasi tayo nagpe-prevent and nag-a-appraise, preventing defects and appraising whether the product conforms? Bakit tayo nagaganon? Kasi yung conformance, merong dalawang klase yan. Isang goal post and absolute quality conformance. Pag sinabing goal post conformance, you provide allowance for any variation pero within your acceptable level. Ibig sabihin, if we set a standard of thickness, say 0.5, and then the actual output of the machine or your laborers ay 0.45 or 0.55, pwede na din. Ang acceptable level mo is within the range of plus and minus 0.05. But if the actual output is say 0.60 or 0.40, lampas yun dun sa plus and minus 0.5 mong variation level of acceptance. Reject yun. You have to rework. So, pag sinabing goal post, merong konting allowance, either plus or minus of your acceptable level. Pag lumampas doon yung may rework or defect na siya. Unlike absolute, wala kang allowance. Pag sinabi mong 0.5 ang thickness, kahit pa ang difference ay 0.05, reject pa din. Because you set your quality on an absolute value of measure. And that is 0.5. Yung goal post, meron kang allowance. Let me finish lang hanggang dun sa exercise natin. So, non-conformance. Ito naman, cost incurred due to non-conformance sa standard na sinet natin. So, yung isa, to prevent and to appraise whether nasunod yung standard. Ito, pag hindi nasunod, ayan, may incur ka uling cost, and that is non-conformance cost. And that is either internal failure cost or external failure cost. So when we say internal failure cost, these are a results from identifications of defects during the appraisal process. Habang nag-a-appraise ka, meron kang nakitang defect or reject or there's a need to repair. At pag ginawa mo na yung repair na yon o yung rework na yon, that is an internal failure cost, like cost of scrap, cost of spoilage, rework cost, rework labor and overhead, re-inspection. So, paano ba natin ma-identify kung yan ay internal? During the appraisal, hindi lumusot yung appraisal na activity, that is an appraisal cost. Yung hindi lumusot at ginawan mo ng paraan para magamit pa yung product, mabenta pa uli, that is an internal failure cost after the appraisal. Okay, as a result of the appraisal. Debugging of software errors and so on. These are internal failure costs. Yung namang external failure cost, when there is a poor quality goods or services are detected after delivery to customer. Nasa customer na yung goods mo. And then, merong problema. and then gagawan mo ngayon siya ng paraan para masatisfy mo yung needs niya. Pag ginawan mo ng paraan, may cost yon. At yung cost ng paggawa mo ng paraan, that is an external failure cost. Halimbawa, cost of field servicing and handling complaints. Na-deliver na yung goods, hindi ma-install. Kailangan pang puntahan para ma-install. Nag-request yung client. Hindi ko ma-install, ayaw gumana, hindi umaandar. So pupunta ka, may gasoline yun. Bayad ka ng tao, mag-i-install, may bayad din yun. So yung mga expenses mo na yun, kung kakain pa yun, may gastos uli. That is an external failure cost because the goods are already delivered and yet nag-i-incur ka pa ng cost. Warranty repairs and replacement, na-deliver na ang goods, nag-request sila ng repairs and replacement, that is an external failure cost. Replacement, repairs beyond the warranty period, product recalls. I'm not sure if you have heard about the news yung sa Mitsubishi na kusang nag-accelerate. Ano bang tawag nila? Sudden acceleration. And the manufacturer issued a recall for all of those units. Pinabalik lahat ng units na yun. And
Montero yun, sir, di ba?
Yes, yung Montero. Kusang nag-accelerate. So, nung ni-recall nila yun, there's a need for a communication, maybe there's a need for additional spaces para paglaga ka ng mga ibabalik na mga kotse, bayad ka pa ng warehouse. That's an external failure cost. Liability arising from defective products, ito pa isa. Defective yung product mo, ginamit, nagkaroon ng injury. Nako, mababayad ka. And that is an external failure cost. Kaya talagang you need to have quality products and then hindi pa tapos yun. Pag na-deliver, dapat walang mangyaring injury or accident. Returns and allowances arising from quality problems. Sinole kasi kulang ng parts, may gas-gas, and so on. So, dagdag cost sa atin yun kasi pipick upin mo pa yun. That's external failure cost. Even opportunity cost, lost sales arising from a reputation for poor quality. Instead na naging benta, hindi ka na binibilhan kasi alam nilang hindi maganda yung mga product mo. That's an external failure cost. Woo! Ang sakit na sa kalihan. Sige, let's have an exercise. Ang gagawin nyo lang, just tell me anong klaseng quality cost ito. Either prevention, appraisal, internal, or external failure cost. Warranty repairs. Ano ito? Prevent?
External po.
External, very good. Scrap.
Appraisal, sir?
Internal po.
Yes, internal failure cost. When you inspect or check, yun yung appraisal. Pero nung nagkaroon ng scrap, that's a cost of internal failure, yung scrap. After inspection and checking yun. Allowance granted due to blemish.
Prevention, sir. Prevention po.
External po.
Kung sa external. Sino sabi external?
Ako po.
Hindi ko makita. What's your name?
Clemente po.
Clemente. Si Ronel pala. Okay. Yes, that is an external failure cost. Kasi
Ah,
yung blemish, halimbawa bumili ka ng
24.
aparador tapos merong gas-gas, mancha,
280.
sabihin mo dun sa manufacturer, Sir, may gas-gas po, bibili pa akong pangtanggal ng gas-gas na to. Pwede bang, bibigyan niyo ako ng allowance pangtanggal ng gas-gas? O yun, that's an external failure cost. Hindi naman siya preventive because yung blemish hindi siya agad-agad lumalabas or nakikita eh. Unless sinabi na kasi dito yung allowance granted, ibig sabihin na-deliver na yung goods.
Was good.
Contribution margin of lost sales.
External po.
That's an opportunity cost. External cost. Maybe kaya ka nawalan ng contribution margin because of poor reputation. Tuition for quality courses.
Prevention.
Very good. Preventive.
Prevention.
Prevention yan. Tinetrain mo yung mga employees mo para hindi sila magkamali. Raw materials inspection.
Prevention.
Appraisal.
Appraisal po, sir.
Appraisal, yes. That's an inspection. Appraisal.
Sabi niyo po eh.
So basta makita mo yung inspection, appraisal yun. Kaya ang sagot natin sa work in process inspection, that's an appraisal cost. Shipping cost for replacement.
External po.
External. Recall.
External po.
External. Very good. Attorney's fee for unsuccessful defense of complaints about quality. Natalo kayo dahil nireklamo yung quality ng product mo. Natalo kayo, bayad kayo ng attorney. Anong cost?
External din po.
External po.
Yes, that's an external failure cost. Very good. Inspections of rework.
Internal po.
Yes, so huwag kang malito ha. Ang in-inspect ay yung rework. After na ng inspection, merong rework, in-inspect uli yung rework, and that is an internal failure. Although merong word na inspection. Hindi siya appraisal. Overtime cost by reworking.
Internal po.
Internal failure cost. Machine maintenance.
Prevention.
Yes, that's preventive cost. Tuning of testing equipment.
Appraisal po.
Prevention po.
Yes, prevention siya. Bakit hindi sir appraisal? Kasi nakita mo yung testing ano.
Yes po.
For testing equipment, that's appraisal. Pero yung equipment mismo, ang chinune up mo to prevent any defect, nagiging prevention cost siya. Okay? Yung cost ng equipment na yon for testing is an appraisal cost. Kasi ang purpose is to test. But when you tune up yung equipment na yon, nagiging preventive cost na siya. Check kung nakalang ko ilan pa. May konti na lang pala eh. Kaya natin to. Cost of quality. Cost of quality report. So, para siyang financial statement, you need to prepare a report for your quality cost. And the way you do it is to classify all the cost according to appraisal, prevention, internal, and external. Bakit natin ito gagawin na parang balance sheet na merong classification? Because for us to easily identify saan tayo nag-concentrate na cost, preventive, appraisal, internal, external, or and also for us to determine saan naman yung mababa yung concentration natin. Saan mataas and saan mababa yung concentration natin. So, the way you do it also is to compare it to your inflow of cash, or dito sa case na to sa sales. Kasi cost yun eh. So, ang sales natin ng 100%, we are comparing year 0 and year 2. Whenever you do comparative reports, ang always na nasa left side is yung current year 2. And then yung nasa left side is yung past. Ay, sorry, baliktad ako. Left yung current, right yung past. But ganun, no? Yung past pa ang naging right. So, past na nga, naging right pa. Anyway, so, dito sa case natin, yung current natin, we are spending 3.07% on prevention cost. That is an improvement from the previous cost na na-incur natin from 1.38 only. Ngayon, taas-taas yung prevention cost. And what does it mean? Nagdagdag tayo ng means to prevent any rework or any defect. Why? Because nung mga nakakaraan, ang taas ng external and internal failure natin. Ba't ba nagkakaroon uli ng ganito? Due to non-conformance, hindi nasusunod yung standard. So what we do, we transfer our investment to the prevention and appraisal cost para maiwasan na yung mga non-conformance cost na yan. So bumaba na ngayong current from 3.5 internal failure cost, ngayon is 1.56 na lang. From 22 to 8.56. Okay, so that is how you analyze yung report mo. Yes, sir, is there a possibility na mag-zero yung lahat na yan? Imposible. Again, cost has a quality. I mean, quality has a cost. If you wanted to provide quality, kailangan mong mag-incur ng cost. Kaya lang, merong leverage. When you put too much investment on prevention, then ang effect, bababa yung non-conformance cost mo. If you will invest less on your prevention and appraisal cost, it will increase your non-conformance cost. Okay, katulad nito, no? 20 lang, o 110 lang, 200 lang, kaya in effect, ang taas ng internal failure, ang taas ng external failure. So dito, nag-invest sila ng marami sa prevention and appraisal, in effect, bumaba ang internal and external cost, external failure cost. Okay. Konti na lang. Non-financial measure of quality. So, aside from this cost, yung components ng mga quality cost natin, meron pa rin daw mga non-financial measure for quality. Like, on-time delivery rate. O, ano ba yung on-time delivery rate? That is the percentage of shipment date. Shipment date. It's either on or before the scheduled delivery date. Diba? Pagka umorder ka, sabi sa'yo, alas 3 lang po, darating na. Dumating ng alas 2. Very good. Bago pa yung delivery date, dumating na siya, so mataas yung hindi lang siya 100% na nakadeliver kasi before dumating, nandun na siya. Ang grade mo sa kanya mataas. Pero kung dumarating yung yung delivery mo o yung in-order mo beyond the delivery date, that is not a good quality. Of good quality kasi late eh. Okay. Also, delivery delays is a measure of quality. Sometimes kasi merong mga customer na magre-request ng date either beyond or different, basta different from the delivery date. Sabihin ng binibilan mo, ang delivery po namin sa Wednesday na. Ay, pwede bang wag niyo munang i-deliver sa Wednesday? Kasi hindi pa gawa yung paglalagyan. Pwede bang Thursday na lang? O, dumating ang Thursday, hindi rin man na-deliver. O, there's a delivery delay. Okay. Percentage of products that fail soon or after. Pagkabili sa'yo, wala pang isang linggo, umabalik na siya. Sira na po, hindi namin magamit. Or dami ng defect. So, maagang bumalik at madalas na bumabalik sa iyo yung mga customers na bumili sa iyo, that is a sign of poor quality. Numbers of customer complaints, isa rin yung measure of whether you are providing quality goods or services kung maraming nagreklamo. But that is not always the case. Sometimes, yung mga complaints na yan, mga feedback na yan, ay useful para sa atin for the improvement. Hindi naman dahil nagko-complain is of poor quality na. There is always a space or room for an improvement. Kaya we need customers' feedback. Numbers of defective units shipped to customer as a percentage of total units shipped. Ang dineliver mo 10, ang defective 9, nako, palpak lahat. Almost 100% walang quality. So, you check also the ratio. That is a non-financial measure. Market research information on customers' preference and customer satisfaction with specific product features. So, isa din to sa mga non-financial measures of quality. If your customer's preference is different from what you are offering them, magbibigay yan ng mga feedback nila. Either hindi sila nasatisfy or nasatisfy sila kasi nga iba yung preference nila. At ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na any changes in the market, even in their preferences, will affect our production. Non-financial measure of quality pa, additional. Numbers of defect for each product line. So, if you are selling garments, ang product line mo ay buo from head to toe. Cap, t-shirt, jeans, and then shoes or socks. Buo, no? Meron kang product line. You check also alin sa mga product mo ang may defect compared to your product line. Employee turnover, isa pa tong good measure of quality. Maraming nagli-leave, maraming nagre-resign. Ang bilis ng turnover. Kaka-hire mo pa lang, next week hiring ka uli. Merong problema. Something is wrong in your organization. Process yield, ratio of good output over the total output. Parang yung defect lang din kanina. Last week, I was with Sir Oliver. We were printing, ano ba yung piniprint namin? Parang daily transaction tracker. Tapos nag-print siya. Sabi ko, sige, ikaw mag-print. Pag-print niya, naubos niya yung kalahating rim ng bond paper. Pero kalahati rin ng bond paper yung reject. So, something is wrong. Anong nangyayari? Mas marami pa yung reject over your good output. So, merong problema sa performance or sa operation. And then, you have to check. Yon ang TQM. I think doon sa book, there is a parang graph about customers' response time. Nakita niyo ba yon?
Yes po.
Yes. In-explain lang dyan na from the time the customer place their orders for your product up to the time that that order is delivered to them, meron kang mga waiting time, merong mga time na you can reduce or manage para umigsi yung time mo from customers placing an order to delivering the order. Yan yung customer's response time. Kasi di ba pagka tayo umu-order, tas ang tagal, lalo kung nasa delivery, drive-to ka, ang tagal ng response, naiinip ka rin eh. Kaya, time is the essence. Pero there's a tawag dyan, leverage between quality and time. Kasi, pag sobrang bilis, baka mag-suffer yung quality. Pagka naman sobrang quality, magsasuffer naman yung time. Kasi ang dami mong gagawin na kailangan with quality. Maganda ang design, maganda ang preparation, and so on and so on. So there's a leverage between time and quality. So you need to manage your time also. Okay, JIT. Again, we will not talk about the accounting for JIT. Simply yun lang advantages niya, or key features niya, or the benefits of using JIT. Alam niyo na to, di ba? It also called lean production or push, demand pull manufacturing system or pull production. Yun bang kukuha ka lang ng inventory kapag merong demand for that inventory. Kung wala pa, hindi mo pa gagamitin, you will not order your inventory yet. So if that is the case sa JIT, there will be a limited suppliers for you. Kasi sino lang ang papayag sa'yo na o-order ka lang kapag kailangan mo. Diba? Kahit sa relasyon, tatawagan mo lang ako pag kailangan mo ako. So, very limited lang yan.
Si Joshua lang po yung nakarelate.
Ay, si Joshua lang pala yun. Yun bang...
Baka naman, Ronel.
Umamin ka na kasi.
Ganyan. Tatawag lang pag kailangan ka. Pero pag hindi ka kailangan, ay hindi ka muna text. Hindi ka muna tatawagan kasi hindi ka pa niya kailangan. Pero ang kagandahan...
Nakaka-relate ba si Mark? Nakaka-relate po ata si Mark.
Opo. May baby po yan sa A.
Si Mark kasi talaga. Ba't ako kasi, Ronel eh?
Mark, tama ba yon?
Hindi po, sir.
Ay, hindi naman.
Mali daw po, sir.
Mali daw po kasi yung sir. Wag daw po ganon.
Wag ganon. Sabagay, no? Pero pag ganon kasi, no, limited lang. I mean, hindi lahat papayag sa ganon. Sa ganong setup. Kaya limited lang yung suppliers mo. Kung ikaw, sanay ka doon at gusto mo yung ganong setup na tatawagin ka lang pag gusto mo, ikaw lang yon. Yung iba ayaw ng ganon. Gusto niya, kailangan mo or hindi, tinatawagan mo ko at tinetext mo ko. Doon marami. Di ba? Marami sila. Pero yung ang gusto kung kailan lang sila kailangan, limited lang sila. Sila ay mga precious. Improving plant layout, another key features of JIT. You need to improve your layout kasi once na dumating ang inventory, papasok na agad yan sa production. At pag pumasok yan sa production, kailangan bawas yung travel time, yung move time niya, iisa lang yung tatakbuhan niyang proseso. So kung hindi maayos yung layout mo, you may incur, setup time, move time, so hindi rin gagana ng maayos yung JIT mo. Sayang lang yung effort mo for JIT. So reduce your setup time. Again, yung inventory, darating yan, kailangan mo na siyang gamitin. Kaya mo ni-request yan, gagamitin mo na. So kung meron ka pang isa-set up, magkakaroon ng problema. Kasi nandyan na, saan mo lalagay yung inventory mo habang sineset up mo. So you need to reduce your setup time. Improving production scheduling. So, yun yung resulta nun. Dahil darating siya kung kailan mo kailangan, tama dapat lahat ng scheduling mo. On time yung kung kailan siya dapat dumating. Targeting zero defect. The purpose of JIT is paglabas ng inventory sa process with quality na siya. So therefore, ang target natin, zero defect. Dahil kung may defect yan, hindi mo pa madideliver sa customer mo yan. Kaya nga natin siya ginawang JIT whenever we need the inventory, order natin, process natin, at paglabas niya, delivery time na. Dapat nang i-deliver. So kung paglabas, nagkaroon ng defect, hindi mo siya madideliver. Kaya we need to target zero defect. Kasi yung schedule ng pagdating niya, after pricing, schedule na rin ang delivery. Maintaining flexible workforce. Hindi pwedeng sasabihin ng workforce mo, wala si ganito, hindi ko alam gawin yan. So dapat yung trabahador mo, yung workforce mo, can and able to manipulate yung lahat ng machines na yon. Kahit wala yung isa, kaya niyang i-facilitate yung machine na yon. Otherwise, kung merong mababawas, kasi hindi magagawa o tatakbo yung proseso, magkakaproblema. Nandiyan na kasi yung inventory, hindi gumagana yung machine, magkakaroon ng tambak na inventory. Performance measure and control. When you apply JIT, ito daw yung mga possible na effect or measure of performance for your JIT production. Yung inventory turnover natin, ang expectation, there should be an increase of inventory turnover. Diba? Kukunin mo lang siya kapag kailangan mo siya. So, pag deliver sa'yo, gamit, and then benta. So, mabilis yung turnover natin. There is an increase of turnover for inventory. And then, unit produced per hour, bibilis din yun. Dadami rin dapat yun. Ito naman yung mga dapat magdi-decrease. When you apply JIT, yung lead time mo, dapat magdi-decrease. Ano ba yung lead time? Ito yung mga waiting time. Wala ka dapat waiting time. Magdi-decrease. Numbers of days inventory on hand, dapat magdi-decrease kasi nga pag order mo, process, deliver. So, wala kang inventories on hand. Kaya magdi-decrease siya. Set up time over total manufacturing time should decrease also kasi yung set up time mo nga, wala na dapat or bawas yun. Pagdating ng delivery, ng inventory, process agad, pasok sa machine, and then output, and then deliver. So, wala kang masyadong set up time. Numbers of units reworked, wala din to kasi nga naka-JIT ka. So, dapat lahat ng mga nasa right column magdi-decrease, sa left column ay yung mag-i-increase. Yun, salamat no, natapos din. So, that's the end of chapter 6.